Starting the start.
Start being cute.
Nah. And yes. It's a pretty small place. You should be able to find me. Safe mode active. Turn off. What is safe mode and why is it active? Alright, well, welcome to the stream, everyone. Oh, I forgot to change the camera type. My bad. You know, when you think you thought of everything, you remember you forgot something important. Ta-da! Alright, well, welcome to the stream, all my lovelies. Caddie here with you this evening, and, well, it's Monday, so chat stream. And I'm already in comfy space. I find it more effective to start already in the sitting position because then we do the thing. And then I'm having more fun because I'm not stressed out. Anyway, yeah, it is a Monday. I'm still working annoying overtime, so that's a thing. So is the Fopsy Woo, but lo and behold, there is a giant Vulpix coming behind me. Hi, Denny. Welcome to the stream. I had a great time at the Retro Gamos. Yay, I am glad you had fun at the Gamos. I like Gamos, too. If you've seen enough the backdrops behind me when I'm doing the gaming streams, you'd see how much games I have. And that's not even all of them. Hello, Wild. And yes, there is a very, very big Vulpix who is attempting to envelop my head into their lap. This happens to me sometimes. So, well, how are all of you today? As I disappear then into a world of red. And the Vulpix flies off. Are you having fun over there? Okay. So anyway, yeah. Well, I do have a list of things to talk about if no one has anything interesting to start with today. Oh, and I better go and turn off a few of the rewards in case anyone accidentally decides they're going to try and contribute to my totem or have something be said in Lammy chat. Doot. There, let's turn those off. Done. That's better. Sore but happy that I got a Dreamcast for $99 plus 2 games. Oh, snap. I bought my only Dreamcast I ever picked up after they weren't so much a thing, after they were basically discontinued. And then I ended up giving it to a friend who had a Dreamcast and lost it because I had like no nostalgia for it. And he really wanted to play Sonic Adventure, which was one of the 2 games I'd picked up for it. Greetings, Stego Wolf. Catwoman69, Y2K, and I are watching you this year. Oh, thank you. And hello, Catwoman. Hi, this is nice to hear your voice again. Oh, well, it's nice to be heard. And Stego, thank you for following. Currently, I have a Vulpix behind me that's deciding how big she wants to be. And whether or not she wants to eat my head today.
I'm very big and I always want to eat your head.
This is true. And good evening, Mendy. I see you have cute little shiny rave icon-y thingies today. Yay, those are fun. But welcome, newcomers, Stego and Catwoman, for having fun at my stream. We have lots to talk about if you don't have things to talk about, kids. But if you do have things to talk about, by all means, interrupt my dopey talking face. I loved raising Chow in the VMU. I got Sonic Adventure and Bang Bang Buster for Dreamcast. Nice. I honestly don't even remember if I ever played the Sonic Adventure when I picked it up. Last time I saw you were flitting around the old MFF hotel in your dark purple fursuit with a tutu. Wow. That was a long time ago. And I remember that because the tutu, the leotard, barely fit her, so I was like on suffocation mode. So that was a bit ago. I did do a good thing. This is now about 2 weeks ago. I cleaned something that I had not thought about whether or not it had been cleaned for a long time because I didn't think I was dirtying it. Yeah, that's why sewing machines are great. Make fursuit size sexy dresses for you and Fuzzy. Aww. Yeah. You know, honestly, all my dresses I've made, no sewing machine. We own 2 of them. They're just fun. There's a little head popping out of the chair behind me now. And then all of a sudden, I am enveloped in red again. But yeah, I can use a sewing machine. I own 2 of them. I just don't find them so much fun. So it's hand sewing 100% of the way. I was exhausted from the expo mall and it wiped me out. Well, yes, that happens. Those kinds of things, just walking around them gets so tiring. The older you get, the quicker it happens too. You'll be surprised. The older you get, the more it happens. Just going from our con hotel at AC, which is half a block from the convention center, by the time you've walked to the convention center, and that doesn't let you in the door yet, there's the underside to get up to it, then up an escalator, then over to where the dealer's room entrance is, then into the dealer's room. You're already probably tired, and you haven't even been into anything besides registration and showing your badge to someone. I went to Newberry Comics and got a few Sanrio stuffs. Ooh, oh, Sanrio. Kawaii. Rats, whatever you said I didn't hear. Ad showed. Oh, I'm so sorry. This happens. I would just mention that, yes, we do actually own 2 sewing machines. And I don't use a single one of them because they're not as much fun. All of my dresses I have sewn by paw. One more ad to pay the bill. Oh, so you're not here yet. Oh, you're back now? Oh, yay! I'll say it again because I don't want people to miss important stuff. Yes, we do own 2 sewing machines, but I don't use them. Most every bit of sewing we have done on any fursuit parts and or dresses has all been by hand because it's way more fun for me. I actually enjoy myself. I love sitting down with a bunch of pins satin on my lap and stitching while I'm watching TV. Hand sewing is why I'll never make another fursuit. I can understand that. If it's not what makes you happy, then it very quickly becomes the task. I've always had to sew things if I'm not great at it because my body with a fursuit was so off. You know, that is fair. Honestly, the reason why I started sewing was because I wanted pretty princess dresses. And I knew they existed. Halloween costumes came up every year, and I saw them existing. The problem is they cap out the sizes at most of them way below my size. Especially way below the size I was, and even then, even further, my size with a fursuit. So I had to adapt. I figured out the shapes of dresses and started doing stuff. Also, patterns are evil. I don't use those. Never have. Never intend to. And I just love figuring out shapes and turning them into dresses. Something also happened. I don't know what it is yet. It'll pop up on my screen. Oh, Wizard Wolfie! Well, thank you for the raid, sweetheart. And for coming to join me. I appreciate both things. Welcome in, and I hope you have a good stay. I'm spoiled off of 3D printing and rubber. Nice. We have considered getting a 3D printer as well. That just hasn't happened yet, and I say that with a very strong yet. I think that is in our next couple years of we're just randomly going to end up with it because I have enough patterns for Battletech Mans, and I know that I could just, print those. Because Fopsy does know that I need more Battletech Mans, don't you?
Always.
Good. Glad you agree. When did you do VRC? Last time I saw you, you didn't do VRC. Oh, I've been doing VRC on Monday's chat streams for the last few months. Because we did finally get all the hardware we need for it. And it's a lot easier to do longer. And I can more easily read chat to make it more user compatible. It does help in being able to see the chat if I'm talking to the chat. My friend who took me was a bit faster than me, but I got to try the 3DO, the CDI, the Virtual Boy, and even took a Game Boy camera picture and printed out Laura's iPhone. Even went to the Poke Labs and seen furries there. That is awesome. I don't know if I've ever played on the 3DO, the CDI. I definitely played Virtual Boy because they had one at Hills on display. All interesting. The sizing in clothing, especially female clothing, is so messed up. I'm going to 100% agree on this. As a larger size American, I noticed that, say, as sizes on dresses go up, they don't necessarily go up in the way that you went up. Specifically, like, the tracts of land oftentimes seem to go up one size every so often, whether or not the person that's slightly larger just happens to be larger in the middle zones and or larger shoulders. They don't necessarily have quadruple F majungers, which you now have either to fill with padding of some sort, or you have just like big empty cuppers in front of you because you had a larger waist. It's a lot harder to make sizes for clothing when every part of a female organism doesn't size up in the same way. Heck, I even think jeans don't size up in the same way as they should. I often was buying pants that didn't fit me in all the right ways because I had to buy pants that would fit me at my waist at least, or would fit my legs at any given time. So oftentimes I'd have pants that I had to tighten the waist in by several inches, or ones that had baggy legs, because pants don't come right. My 3D printer was the best financial risk I took. More valves for that I can print in TPU and TPE. Nice. I am all for being able to print your own plasticky and rubbery and whatnot-y stuffs. We hope to do that soon because, Battletech Mans are expensive, and all the other little miniatures we can make for ourselves and for friends. It'd be nice. What did the other guy said he was away from the mic? I don't know what you said that you did that TD man did not hear. But could have been anything. Because I'm behind, so I don't know what you said at the moment. At that moment. I got a Sylveon at the con too. Yay!
Did someone say shiny rubbery things? Did someone say shiny rubbery things?
Hi, sweetheart. Now you're a shiny rubbery thing. And a Sylveon. You've made two people happy. Do me a favor, though. Pause down just a little. You keep going in front of my face. You're adorable. Let's see. Where are we at? I got lucky and figured out my female size recently, so I'm finding dresses that work for me. Yay! Depending on who makes it, I'm anywhere from a size 22 to 26. Again, that really, I know that's a wide range, but I can at least size some things up if they're a little too small. They randomly change the size at will. I've purchased jeans from the same company when compared to... I apologize. I have flashing things in front of my face and it's hard to read. There's a fist going through my face right now. Anyway. Tried reading that again. They randomly change the size at will. I purchased jeans at the same company with compared to the older pairs. They're smaller. Yeah, I agree. That they never make sense. That's why I haven't actually bought jeans specifically in ages. Actually, women's comfy pants is basically my pants 100% of the time at this point because they have an elastic waist and they're comfy. But yeah, when I was last buying jeans, it seemed like if I didn't buy relaxed fit, I was bound to have things not fit. I've got to try Popeyes at the Roosevelt Mall, leaving the Cradle of Aviation on Saturday. I'm glad you got to try Popeyes. We put them on our sometimes list, not because they're bad, but because they're bad for us. Otherwise, and also they're technically the other side of town, so it's like a 25-minute drive to pick up fried chicken. Which is why I don't do it so often. So 25 minutes out, pick up fried chicken, 25 minutes back, then we eat fried chicken. It's a little bit of a time frame. Also, if you're heavier, that means you must be taller. I can't be short in what pants. Yes. Okay, when it came to buying pants, even going by whatever number I happened to be at the time. Go to Walmart, and you would see plenty of size 30 or less pants. There would be like piles of them. Just stacks and stacks. All ranges of lengths from like 28 to like 36 with a 30-inch waist. You would find whatever my size was at the time, there would be one pair, maybe two. Hope they're the color you like, the shade of pant you wanted. And, well, I normally was a 30 or 32, depending on the maker. And it's like, good luck. Hopefully you're not showing off all the socks, or you're not dragging on your ankle bits. Yep, Stego's business thrives off the valves and threaded parts. One can only find so many gas masks to farm the parts. At least using my 3D animation degree for something. you know, if that actually, that's a really good use of that degree. I appreciate your being smart. And I apologize, TD Man, you cannot hear my Fopsy Woo. He should be coming through.
You're not talking very much.
That too. Actually, we'll just do a quick test. Okay. Say a large bit of a something.
A large bit of a something.
You weren't even pushing to talk because I only heard you. You weren't in stream talking.
A large test of a something?
Okay, there. Did anyone not hear a large test of a something from the Fopsy? If so, let us know. Oop, and I see a hydrate. I will get back to reading more in a second, but I am told to drink water, and I will do so.
Sweetheart, I might also speak because I'm monitoring chat. When I'm monitoring chat, my push talk is not working.
Well, I hear you out of my ear holes whenever you're pushing, so I'm not sure if it's... Oh, you can... Okay, you can hear it really softly, Commander? Okay. And Denny says he can hear you. Okay, that's good. All right, we're fine then. I was just making sure it wasn't like I wasn't getting anything out of VRC. All right, let's get back to where I was. Shiny Sylveon! Yes, that is a very, very shiny Sylveon in the shiny sense as opposed to the coloration for a shiny. TD Man, it's due to the streamer cam on VRC. It's far away from Fopsy. Actually, I am the source of the audio, not the camera. So if it's going to get heard, it's going to get heard from my head hole. Which, interestingly, that mouth port is like right next to my head, so I'd hope it'd come up pretty good. I'll work on the audio later to see if I can make sure things are louder for future. Catwoman saying to Mendy, I have run into that as well. Yep. Yeah, very much so. Stego does the jackal masks. Questiony.
Those are awesome jackal masks. So yes, Stego does do them, and they are amazing.
Then Jackal, Stego, I appreciate Jackal. I appreciate your Stego masks. Oh, the companies are making lots of cents and lots of dollars by changing the sizes arbitrarily. Yes, they are, because then I'll buy 3 pairs of pants thinking I found a deal. Like, oh, you had my size XDXXX, and you actually have 3 pairs in stock. I buy them, I come home, and none of them fit. And now I'm too shy to take them back to Walmart for a return. The Bang Bang Buster game is a Neo Geo game for Dreamcast. Oh, well, that's interesting. Length 28 would be great. They just don't go under 30, and that's too long. Ugh. You know, yeah, I feel you 100%. I am indeed the Stego that does the Jackal mask. Yes. Yay! You're the Jackal that indeed does the Stego masks. The mask looks great. My best friend has a Jackal army. Yay! And yes, I did the hydrate. I can hear it. Yes, and only soft. Oh, and I got a tail waggle. You're going to make me stand up. Danny's making me do stuff. I'm going to read the last 2 things first. Mendy says, thank you. Or Stego says, thank you to Mendy. You're all thanking each other. That's all that matters. Commander, actually, I've found going to the Lee Wrangler outlet store has been pretty good. I haven't been around one of those outlet stores in a while because it's a ways to each nearest outlet mall now. But yeah, I remember doing that a lot, going to the outlet stores to buy stuff. Definitely got better prices. And a couple of my favorite denim jackets. Been going to Old Navy because my body shape is in weird limbo. Yeah, I feel you there. All right, well, I got a tail waggle, so hopefully I'm getting good on camera. Let me see if I can... Yeah. Oh, I'm hitting the TV stand. I can't go any further back. Maybe a little forward, though.
You'll deal with it, sweetie. It's okay.
Waggle, 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 waggle. There, that did work. All right, now, switching back around. Oh, there's my tiny. Were you trying to play with my tail?
No.
You mean yes?
No.
All right, where'd my chair go? There it is. Very, very important when you go to sit down. Make sure there's a chair behind you. Ah, there we are. Camera view, check. Check. All right, chat back up. What do we got? What do we got? All right, let's see. Read that. Okay. Oh, God, I step away from my VMU, and Bully Chow attacked my Chow. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope your Chow's okay. I just want to say, Cad Pig Jr., that your avatar is awesomely... Oh, thank you. This one is public. It is a Hopkin Redux. I found it in a avatar search world, and it's one of the ones I really like being. I tend to cycle through a few different critters that I wear on my streams, and I wore this one last time, but I kind of felt like wearing her again. She's fun. Also, it has hood. Version, close, hood. There, as a hood. Hood. But I don't feel like wearing a hood. I like having options. And I have a little baby Eevee next to me.
I'm big.
Baba.
You're the Baba. You're the Baba Bunny.
I'm not a Baba, but I'm a Hobkin. Hobkin. And it's big.
Small.
No. Connie's a Babkin. I'm big.
Why are you so small? Explain yourself.
I'm much bigger than you.
It's perspective.
You're sitting right next to me. There's not perspective.
It's very perspective.
Unlike the Baba Deer. That is correct. Baba Deer wears pacifier on stream.
Lies. Lies and slander. Lies and slander. Slander.
Do we need to go check the VOD
What bud?
of your stream?
Of whose stream?
When the Baba Deer is wearing a pacifier.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll clip it next time and keep it for you. Passies are cute, just saying. See? Denny says they're cute, and therefore you're cute Baba.
No. Danny was referring to you. You're passing you. You're cute.
A Baba Deer is a sheep in a deer kigu.
I mean,
yes.
I'm a sheep cuckoo, so I mean that could happen.
We should make that happen.
I'm just saying. It could.
So anyway, one of the things I randomly decided to clean was the drip tray on our espresso maker. Normally, I'm pretty good at stopping before the thing stops dripping and fills my cup up sufficiently. So I don't really think about the fact that it was dripping down into there much. When I pulled it out to clean it, the amount of solid coffee scales that were underneath that little tray was amazing. I was happy to get those out. There was no mold or anything. It dried perfectly because at best it's only a few drops of concentrated coffee that gets down there and then it dries. So it just was these like blocks of black coffee product. It was amazing. I was glad to get them out, but it was amazing. I thought the Baba Deer sits next to the pilot and drops the bombs. Yeah, that too. You can be the bombardier. Pilot the bombardier. Pilot the bombardier.
Bombardier, 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 bombardier. I dropped the bombs.
Good girl. Why not both, Commander Kasune? Why not both? Be both. You can be a deer in a sheep kigu who drops bombs for me.
I mean, where do I sign up?
Right here. You're in the right place. Now we just need to find a game where I can have a bombardier. And then we'll like dual stream it, and people can watch from both our streams, and they can watch me in the pilot seat flying the ship, and you in the bombing seat dropping bombs on things, and that'll be awesome. And we'll get all the viewers, and we'll both go partner, and we'll be able to quit our jobs, and yeah, that doesn't quite work, does it? That's too many steps. Oh my god. Wow. Laughs at the bombardier joke. I am all for this. Flight Simulator? Yeah, but I actually don't like playing Flight Simulator. We need to find a more fun flying game.
I was fixing things and I accidentally hit my controller.
I do that. One stream, I remember I was just sitting here talking, and I accidentally bumped one of my sticks, and I wasn't looking at my screen. All of a sudden, I'm like, where am I? Oh, I'm way over here.
Sweetheart, wherever you go, there you are.
That's true. And I mentioned a few weeks ago my wish for Lego Castle wall bits, but I'd been having trouble finding the pieces on eBay for any reasonable price, or even incomplete castles for reasonable prices. So I found a pack of 24 wall plates and a nearly complete Black Falcon's Fortress. And this one let me buy them. And if you watch my my Twatter or my Mastadoodle, I did post pictures of the 6 wall sections I created to go with my 80s and 90s Lego castles.
Why did you post to the Discord? Exclamation Discord down below.
Exclamation Discord. I should do that. Yes.
Caddie, post your Discord.
I'll post my own Discord. I will. I'm sorry. I'm bad at this.
This is why I run the thing, but it's for us.
I'm not good at Discord.
The whole point of Discord is being Discord, and ergo you're not good at it because it's chaos. Which is why you should post it.
Raven says, look at these 2 cutie beans. Yes, you have 2 cutie beans on this this cute little bean here. See, they're kicking up, and there's little beans down there. They keep kicking up. Who's cutie bean? You're a cute pair of cutie beans. There, see? That's a whole lot of cutie beans right next to me. But they do have a blue falcon cat. No, they don't. Discord, Dadcord, haha. No, Black Falcon's Fortress was 3rd castle generation for Lego Castle Stuffs. First generation was a really ugly yellow castle that only had a couple of add-on little sets, like a jousting one, and I think like 1 set of extra mans, and one other little building.
What's wrong with yellow?
Nothing's wrong with yellow, but yellow in a castle, yellow does not make a good castle.
Just saying, what's wrong with yellow?
Nothing, dear. Second generation was 2 castles and some add-on bits. I don't remember which all add-on bits were in Generation 2, but that's when King's Castle and Knight's Castle were both born. King's Castle was the Lion Shield side, and Knight's Castle was the Black Falcon side. Third generation, there was just a castle for the Black Falcon team, and that was Black Falcon's Fortress, which is the one that has the little kind of a housey thing on the back of the castle. It's also the time whenever they added the curved castle, the angle castle wall pieces, as opposed to just the straight ones. I'm a geek for this stuff. I've been studying what sets I wanted since I was small, and you're gonna argue I'm always small.
You're still small.
Yeah, I know. I saw that coming. But since the early 80s, when I first was collecting Legos, I have been plotting what I wanted from the original stuff up into the 90s. And I have actually gotten almost every Castle Lego set I really wanted. There's only like 2 left that are on my wish list. The second Black Knight's castle, I forget what its name is, but to get a complete one, easily rounds over $300 to $400, and I can't say it's worth that to me. Because it's one I wanted, I never played with at Grandma's house or anything, so I only miss it in the sense that I wanted it, not in the sense that I had played with it. And there was one of the wall add-on buildings I did not get, which was the Armory. And if you understand the 80s and 90s Lego sets for castles, based around those little castle wall pieces, this particular little thing, I think, was only 2 castle wall pieces wide. It had just a little bit of building in it, and a rack of armaments and a knight and a person selling. The cheapest I've seen it was around $60 at this point. I can't justify that for that price.
Unless you really want it, which case you tell me.
I bought all the other wall add-ons. The catapult set, which was the black wall piece for the Black Monarch's castle. I got the battering ram set and the siege tower, which were swappable. They had either the ability to be set up as the falcons on the wall or on the siege engine, or the other way around. It was easy to change out where the one flag was on each item and the shield on the said item, so that you had an attacker or defender depending on which castle you wanted to add it to. And the other one I wound up getting was the blacksmith. That one I was really happy when I picked it up off of eBay, because the seller didn't realize what they did. This is back when Lego often offered a second build option to a set. And a second build option to this set involved turning the kiln in the blacksmith shop into a carriage to put on the horse. So not only did they send the blacksmith shop built as a blacksmith shop, but they also sent the horse cart built as the horse cart. So I got a little bit of a bonus, and I got a pretty good price on it when I did pick it up. So yeah. We got the box of Legos and never specific sets. Meanwhile, some years ago, we got some of Sonny's space sets from his parents' place, but they're sitting in a bin right now. Build. Do you need me to come over and put together all your space sets? I'll do that. I'll put together all of your 80s and 90s space sets. I'll do it. I love doing that. The space sets. Did you have the thing with there was a big car with two driveys, one on each end, and a big like space thing in the middle, and lots of little spacemans, and maybe some of the bigger spaceships, and Okay, I'm a geek and I loved Legos. They were a big part of my childhood and they're still a big part of my nowhood. 90s space, so they had flippy helmets. Flippy helmets. I liked when they added flippy helmets. I had a lot of 90s and 80s space stuff. More 90s than 80s. Because most of my stuff has flippy helmets and not the broken chin straps. Hello, hat. And I did get the monorail when it was new. That was one of my big Christmas gifts one year. So I have the original space monorail. Which, after finally figuring out, I thought the motor was dead or something at some point. It apparently just the contacts on my battery box were bad. I just moved the connector on it up a couple of notches, and it did still run. So, yeah. I have a lot of good memories of playing with space Legos at Grandma's house. She had a lot of them too, and she had a lot of castle stuff. But she had a couple of space bases and crawlers and big spaceships. She loved Legos just as much as the grandkids did, so that was half the fun. She wanted to go out and buy the new Lego set. Not just because the kids had have fun with it, she wanted to build it too. That's cool that she had those. It is. We were supposed to inherit those when she passed. This was back in like 92-ish. Yeah, they're still in her garage. And I think I'm the only grandkid left that even wants them, but I can't have them. This sad. There's a Dreamcast game I wanted, Daytona USA 2001, but and maybe a Namco museum. Well, I hope you end up getting them. Honestly, keep your eye out on eBay and or go to some retro game stores around you. There's always a good chance you're going to spot those things eventually. I did wind up getting most of my wish list on NES and Genesis and whatnot. Right down to, I did get Rocket Knight Adventures. I finally found a copy of that. I did find Castlevania 3 at a reasonable price. So, there's certain things that if you just keep your eyes out, you're going to find them. You're bouncing. Oh, you found a hat.
I give you a hat.
I get a hat. It has horns, and it says moo or milk. Milk. Apparently, I need a hat that says milk. Even the Echo the Dolphin for the Dreamcast. I played Echo the Dolphin game once. Yep, once. I honestly didn't get it. But, if it's a game you actually want, by all means, go for it, find it, and have it. That is all you. I hope you get it. I hope you have all of the echoey good time. Well, I do have a fun story of not this last Friday, but the Friday before. Oh, I have paw? I had paw on my paw. I love you, sweetie. We had an interesting power outage a couple of Fridays ago. Oh, I tried to play Echo on the Dreamcast, but couldn't play it because I could see it was the background moving and not the character, and threw me off. I can definitely understand that. That would really mess with me too. Yeah, that'd be weird. Little Caddie backstory. Pretty near. Oh, you found a beard. Pretty near every night. Okay, that has to go. That's actually That's in the way. Um, I have my sleep cycles around 4:30 to 5:30 in the morning, and I wake up, and it's just enough that I'm like, okay, I do have to pee, so I'll get up and pee and get some water. It's a normal human thing. Yes, I was a beardkin, but Phantom says does not agree with that because that gives me Phantom can't breathe because there's something blocking my mouth hole.
You know what?
What?
Deal with it.
You're adorable. Um. So I was just waking up Friday a couple weeks ago at right at 5 a.m. and my body was like, "Okay, you need to go pee now. It's time to get up." I was like, "I don't wanna," as usual. And it was right then, all of a sudden, I'm about to stand up to go wee wee and take care of number one and grab a little water, and all of a sudden, it gets slightly darker and so quiet. My fan all of a sudden was no longer running. And the light coming in from the windows was gone. And the nightlight out of the bathroom was no longer emanating a light glow. Uh-oh. Seeing as how I had to be up for work I get up at 8 a.m., and I have to start work at 9 a.m. from home. This is not necessarily a safe thing, as the sense that I now don't hear electricity. But I also noticed at that very moment that it got quiet, I heard a boomy pop. Kind of like a... That's adorable. Kind of like one of those boomer fireworks. You know, the ones that are just like a bright flash and a loud kaboom. But just kind of like it was really far away. And I knew what that was. That was a transformer that just went boom. And I like, okay. It's 5 a.m. They got 3 hours till they wake up before I'd have to... Thank you for a lunch bag or something. And another box of food. I have 3 hours before we would have to bug out to go somewhere where we would have internet and electricity to work on time. Giving myself a full hour to box my world, get it somewhere like Javi's house, unpack, plug in, and be able to log in. All of our stuff already knows his home network, so it'd be pretty instantaneous. We just turn them on and they'd be on the Wi-Fi. So at least we know that would happen for us. And I knew I had 3 hours before bug out max time frame. Yes, love?
Can I offer you a cookie in this trying time?
Yes, you may. I can't grab, though, because I have my chat screen up.
I'll feed you.
Thank you. But I knew what had broke, and I know the about time frames on repair. Daytime, something like a transformer pops, hour and 15 minutes, they will have it fixed. Pretty safe and secure. That is a nice quick average and really seems to be pretty truthful. Nighttime, I will give them up to 2 hours. And fortunately, lo and behold, my estimate was pretty darn close to right. Because at 20 to 7, they managed to get the power back on. Which is lovely. Because, man, it really wants me to grab that, but my hand's busy. Because then that meant the air conditioning and my fan came back on for the last hour of my sleep time. Where are you? I see you in my screen. dropping food on me. Yum. I must have managed to fall asleep at some point. I don't know exactly when, because I was awake due to the fact that it's the middle of summer and all of a sudden I have no fan. Yum. And I have no air conditioning. And all of a sudden that is warm as all get out. Because the bedroom is not cycling air very well when there's no air cycler device turned on. That sucked. And I managed to get a little bit of like barely rest between apparently 20 to 7 and 8:10 when I got out of bed. But we survived. We didn't have to go anywhere, and our electricity came back on. So that's a good thing. You can't time those things breaking, so there's no way to know when you're going to lose power for that. But fortunately, it did come back well enough time for us not to have to drive away. Though we both worked on probably about half or less night's sleep that Friday. That was rough. Transporting my chow back to SA1. Yay! I'm guessing that's the home for where the chows live. If I remember right, they're the little like bloop dudes you raised in your dilly hopper. Hydro Wolf, hello! Welcome to tonight's babble. You've missed me babbling some, that's about it. And Fopsy coming and putting food things around me. And a hat. There was a hat and a beard and some other stuff. And Fopsy being cute. There was a lot of Fopsy being cute. You missed much of that. But you can always watch in the VOD later. And please do so, because I get ad revenue for that. Unless you're a subscriber, which you are. Which means I don't get any ad revenue. But do it anyway. It still helps. How's my weekend? It was actually productive. I got those 6 Lego castle wall sections built. Got some relaxing done. Got some naps in. Got some fun time in general. Didn't end up playing any video games. I really should have. I skipped out on a meet on VRC, but I'm feeling okay that I did that. Because I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't in the mood. And how was your weekend there, Hydra? And or anyone else that feels like saying so? Are you gasping that I didn't play video games or that I skipped on a VRC meet? Or both? Because both. I bet it's the Legos. It was all about the Legos games. I wanted to is the scary thing. I had lots of games I would wanted to have played this weekend, but I was just not feeling like it. You ever get one of those days? It's like, I have stuff I could be doing, but I just don't feel like it. I did succeed at building Legos, though. That was good for me, and I drew a picture. And started a whole little series of art, hopefully. Looking forward to dealing with. I haven't played video games in a week now, and I need to find something to play. There is so much out there. So many things. Not enough hours. Weekend was tasty pastries, art store, doggo park, but Sunday was rainy, so it was super lazy. Oh, thank you. I could always use one of those. Hold on. I'm going to close the thing just so I can do that. Thank you. Always a good thing. Oh, and now I actually did grab that. Now that my chat was down. I have nothing against having a good lazy day occasionally on the weekends. I do my best to make use of my weekday evenings so I don't feel like I only have time to do stuff on the weekends. So yes, a Sunday where you just feel like you're being a potato, go for it if you need potato time. That's good to hear. Mine was okay as well. Hang out with friends and played Fortnite with them. Yay, Fortnite! I like watching people play Fortnite sometimes. Not my game, but it's fun to watch. There are a ton of games out there. Oh, and video games. Yes. To my actual physical left, there are a lot of games on a shelf, including way too many game add-ons for Hero Quest. Which doesn't mean I haven't already pre-ordered the next one that's coming out in January, which is just another add-on character that I'll never get around to using, like all the other ones we have stacked in there. But I have it, and I want it, and I need it. Yeah. We have probably around 100 total quests for Hero Quest at this point, between the original, the main game itself, plus all 5 total regular expansions, which includes the 2 original expansions plus the 3 new ones. 2 add-on hero packs, which is just another character you can add into the game. And the extra quest books that came with the pre-order if you went with the Ultra Pack, which I did. And a whole bunch of extra critters and mans to be, and the female version of all the original heroes, and that's just one game. There's also Mice and Mystics over there, Plush Fables, the Battletech wall to my other side, which includes hundreds and hundreds of little plastic mech men, not counting any of the cardboard cutout mech men that you put on a little like standy doodle to add into even more little mech men on the game. That I have issues, and I have a couple packs of mech men's I really want to order off of the Amazons. There's a pack of 4 urban mechs, and they're all a little different, and I kind of want the 4 urban mechs, even though they're dumb as dirt. But it's fun to have them out there to get blown up. Got Baldur's Gate time, which I knew, but possibly Phasmo game time fell through, though. I'm sorry you didn't get to do your Phasmo, but yes, I'm glad you got to play Blah Blah Gate. I enjoyed heckling your game from the outside. I don't know how much of that you got to hear, but I did heckle because that's fun. I complained that none of you are mining copper. This game does not mine copper, therefore it is not a quality game. Did I get a chance to watch the Super Mario's movie? Oh, yes, I did. That was a good movie. Like most movies, I don't see them until they come out on disc, because going to the movie theater for me is not exciting. I need to stop getting caught doing mischief in the game. Probably. I heard something about a shopkeeper that had to be killed due to you guys not sneaking well enough.
The shopkeeper was not killed. He was murdered by some unknown people. We don't know.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That was all on Sunny and Fopsy.
Well, Jack couldn't do it because Jack was busy being in prison.
Nice. They made a 4K showing of the cult classic version of the original Mario movie in Japan. Nice. I haven't killed any merchants. Good for you there, Mendy. You keep your streak up of not killing the merchants because you need them to buy stuff from.
Remember, your best alibi is you were already arrested for stealing.
I just robbed them. Oh, I got to redeem. This one's easy. I don't even have to really get up, but I'm going to sit up for it. Ooh woo. Ooh woo, Hydra Wolfie. Ooh woo. Do you like the ooh woos? I'll give you lots of ooh woos. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. There. You got your ooh woo in. You just robbed them. Good work for your just robbing. Just steal. I did finish playing through Castle of the Winds. I finished that like when I was a kid. But I did finish it, my current run through of it again. Since I downloaded it in a Windows 3.1 emulator. I was amusing that I had to download an emulator for Windows to play in Windows to play an old icon-based game, because you'd think something that simple should just work, but apparently it does not play well with newer versions of Windows on its own. In fact, I still have the freeware copy of it on Pepto. That is one of the few things that my original EEE Asus mini laptop was good for. I could play emulated like Nintendo games on that with one of our basic USB controllers. Which, by the way, sweetie, if you're ever looking for your old USB controller, the one that is boring, it's in my desk.
Yeah, good to know.
And it works really good with Pepto. Did you ever own Windows 98 before? Oh, honey, I have owned every version of Windows since 3.1.
Windows for work groups, well, it's 3.1, but still.
Yeah, that's when they added networking.
Networking, you can get on the internet. You can get on the interwebs.
I've had and used Windows 3.1, Windows 3.1.1, Windows NT, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. Now I have at least 2 computers with Windows 11. And I have played with a couple different versions of Linux. I think it's Mint OS. I don't know what the base version under that is. On an older laptop, just for funsies. Because it wouldn't run... it had Windows 10, but not enough hard drive space to do the update at one point. So I was like... My friend was like, what kind of Linux can I put on this that won't explode? And I got told, oh, Minty. And I was like, oh, okay. So I found and downloaded Mint and put it on there. Speaking of Windows 98, I seen old computers. Woot! I started playing with computers long before Windows was a thing. I remember elementary school playing with flippy floppies, and there's an egg on my head, and I played Oregon Trail and Number Munchers and Logo, where you drew it with the little triangle man. I'm old. It was a retro gaming expo that I pulled up DX Diag. I don't know what that is. I used to play Windows 98 when I was little. I play games like Putt Putt and Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish. I started playing with Windows 98 when I was in college.
Caddie still plays those games.
Actually, I've never played any of those 3 games. Honestly, I never actually did own any of them, even by accident. I can proudly say I never blasphemed a computer with Windows ME. I did. The Dell I purchased when I was in college, which was my first computer that I personally purchased for myself, came with a Windows ME upgrade disc in the mail 6 months after I picked up the computer. Like when Windows ME was released. I installed it, and I cycled back to Windows 98. It made my computer slower. And I had optimal stuff for it. It was a Pentium 3 733, and I'd already, before that disk came to me, I'd already added more RAM, so I was at 384 megs of RAM. I had a 80 gig hard drive. I had a pretty okay graphics card, a Rage something or other. I was pretty well set up, but Windows ME? No. Windows 286, OS 2. Actually, the first computer I played Windows 95 stuff on was a 286. OS 2. Trash 80. I sent you the picture that I took of the PCs at the Expo. Yay! I'll take a peek at those in a bit. Did you see the newer Oregon Trail game? Well, I've seen Oregon Trail, the horror one. And I have seen a couple people on the YouTubes playing some of the newer Oregon Trails that were like the Windows 98 point and click type adventure ones pretty much. And I was like, that sounds much fun. I'm going to be the little man that shoots the buffalo and then could only carry back 100 units of meat, even though it was like 800 meats.
And then you die of dysentery.
I want to die of poop diseases. Why can't I die of poop diseases? Commodore 64. Yeah, that was our first computer. Actually, it was a Commodore Plus 4, plugged into the TV. We had no floppy drive, no tape drive. Everything we wanted to do, you had to type in at the time you were going to do it. As soon as you turned the machine off, it forgot everything you did. I don't miss that machine. PDP-11 mini computer with a TTY33A teletypewriter. Commander, I don't want to spoil this for you, but I think you might be a little bit older than a teenager. Maybe by a couple years. Yeah, you might be like 21 or 22. It looks like fun. I guess it was on mobile, but now it's on desktop. I should look into that just to try. I had enough fun with Oregon Trail as a little turd. I'd probably enjoy it as an adult. I was going to say, then you went back to 98 because it was a solid OS. Yeah, you got that right. I definitely went back to 98 because it actually worked right. And a few years later, I ended up having a copy of Windows XP that just I had. I don't remember where it came from. It was all of a sudden just mine, and it worked. Yes. Wang OIS 50. That one I don't know. Denny says, it's not Windows Me, it's the PC you had that made ME unstable. ME was better after it got a few updates, but like a lot of OSs, it was not ready out of the gate.
This is why I made the switch to NFT, or
NTFS.
NTFS files.
Yeah, 2000 was more stable, I found, when I ran that over running Windows ME. And I tried. I gave it a good quality shot, and I did have what should have been good for ME. I actually had good specs for it, but it runs hotter than 98 did, and I didn't care for the extra flair that it added, and its extra flair made my games run slower. Mendy agrees that ME was hot garbage. I have had No good experience with it, other than the fact that it had the picture slideshow screensaver, which all future versions of Windows had installed by default, so don't have to care about it. Whoop. You okay? I heard a crash.
It happens.
Okay. Just making sure you're not hurt. I don't want you to get owies.
Yeah.
Oh, the Wang was good. Axians? I'm gonna leave that to you kids who understand whatever it is you're talking about. Here's the Steam page. Thank you. Hold on. Let me just click on that so that I have that saved off. Dink. Done. All right. I'll remember to deal with that later. Hydro asks, what are my plans for this week? Not dying. Actually, I do have some interesting plans that I have not bothered the little Vaporeon here with yet, but I'm probably going to bother her with tomorrow. Since someone now gets off work before me 4 days out of the week, I have someone that can be helpful on Tuesday when I'm recording YouTube videos. Now, I'm not asking much. I just need help getting zipped into something that I haven't gotten to wear in a while. Thank you. Pouring Dusties on me. But I was actually hoping to get to wear Minnie Mouse. And to put her on, I need someone to zip the back up. And I can't really do that by myself. So, I'm hoping that the little Vapey will be nice enough to zip me up tomorrow after I'm done with work. So I'll record a couple of mini videos to put up on YouTube.
Just small videos?
Just small videos.
Small mouse videos.
Little 10-minute jobbers like usual. Of a small thing. It's a mouse. You probably never heard of it.
The small thing.
From like California or something. Zippy zippy. Oh, just some ancient computers that existed way before many current furs were even born. I'm curious, what's my favorite Pokemon? Oh, it's easy. Mewtwo. No question. Mewtwo. Vapey, you're still adorable. You're still wonderful. Mewtwo's still best.
You don't like Fluffy anymore?
I like Fluffyon. I just like Mewtwo best.
You don't like Fluffy?
I like Fluffyon. One of my good friends is a Fluffyon.
You don't like Fluffy?
I still love you, Fluffyon. Just my favorite Pokemon's always been Mewtwo.
I do a sad thing.
You're like number 2.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love you, little Fluffy. I love you personally. Also, you left an eggy on my head. And you keep pouring powder on me of some kind. Messy children. Lucario is definitely good as well. And I have been hydrated by Hydro Wolf. This is strangely appropriate. Hydro Wolf thinks I should be hydrated. And I am about to. Interestingly enough, 2 fursuits I have thought about making for myself are Flareon and Lucario. So, take that for what it is. Yes, I would be a little you.
Well, you are little.
Oh, yeah, it's been a day. Mondays have the bonus thing the last few weeks and the next 2 of having bonus mandatory overtime in the morning for me. And for this little fluff, their bonus overtime is in the evening. And since we now work 1 hour offset, Mondays we start at the same time and finish at the same time, so we started work together and we got off together and ate dinner, which is something we have not done in ages on a weekday. I agree. There are a lot of great Pokemon. I am not going to deny this. Mewtwo is still best. Flareon is apparently Wild's third favorite of the evolution, behind Vaporeon and Sylveon. You're not allowed to argue with at least one of those because I know Vaporeon's still your favorite. Have you ever attempted to make a Lucario and a Flareon fursuit? Have not yet attempted, but they're on my list of to-dos. So hopefully one of these days I'll get around to that. I have a couple of minor sewing projects I'd kind of like to do in the near future. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to disappoint anybody when I don't do something quick enough. But I know Flareon can be a fun fursuit and that Lucarios are fun fursuits because I have seen both of those in existence. In fact, my Mewtwo has been raided by 5 Lucarios at once at MFF one year. And one of my good Pokemon fursuiter friends is a Flareon. His name's Fire. And his fursuit is adorable. And I'm hydrating for you, Denny. I miss when Scrapper had his Lucario. I wonder which one he had, because I know most of the ones that are out in the wild right now in the United States. So I'm curious which one was his. Thank you, little squirt gun. Scratch my eye. I got... There we go. Sorry about that. My favorite of the evolutions was Glaceon, Vaporeon, Flareon, and Sylveon. All of which are good choices. All of the evolutions are great, including, this little Glacie here. This Glacie are cool. I know you really like Glacie.
I like Glacie. It's cute. Cute bobbers.
He's adorable. Mindy says we haven't seen it since it sold. Aww. Had I known he was selling it, I probably would have, tried to throw money at it, but can't win them all. Oh, interesting. Does Fopsy's evolution avatar have an Umbreon? Pretty sure. Do you have Umbi? There you go. Umbi. Yeah, I think it has all of them.
It's a really cool avatar. And the symbol on the pouch, on the dungarees, also is whatever character it is.
That's awesome. Well, I do hope to make a Lucario one of these days. I think that'd be a fun thing to have. I think I trust in my skills enough that I can make a cute doggo face for him. Probably better than I made my my Rena face, which I probably should remake. With the ability to breathe. I'm a fan of having the ability to breathe. I think this one likes when I'm breathing too. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yes, you are so cool. You have been listed as so cool by the Stego. Any other favorite Digimons besides Renamon? Oh, lots of Digimon. There's plenty of them out there that I like. We love Guilmon. And we has Guilmon as a fursuit.
We have a Guilmon plushie.
He is so cuddly. Terriermon is definitely a love. Gomamon. Lots of them. I don't remember all their names because there's way too many. And yeah, there's too many. And I'd make everything out of fursuits but one fursuits take up a lot of space once they're made. 2, fabric is not cheap. 3, that's a lot of effort to make a fursuit. So quickly it turns into a big expense, a lot of space taken up. That is even more adorable somehow. I got another Uwu redeem. Ready to help me with this? Okay. Uwu. 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 Trying to figure out my face things, but I'm bad at remembering my expressions. Ooh, I had there for a second. I had the hardy eyes. There we go. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. Yay! I figured out it's I gotta do love sides to make the. That actually makes sense. I have to do sign language love to make my eyes go hearts. There, you've been ooh-wooed. I hope you're happy. All right, what all happened while I was tilted forward and couldn't see things? Well, you gotta. You can't not. Now that I figure out how to make heart eyes, hopefully. Come here. There we go. Ada, ada. Fingers go in the right places. No. There. That just makes it sad, but... Oh, close. That makes it like that, but... we'll just be normal. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Thank you. You're very good help. All right, we have Uwood and Arad. I feel productive. I am fulfilling all of the needs of being, well, a furry streamer. You made me tail wag there for a bit, so you guys are you're covering your gambit. All right. Let's see. Going down my list of backup topics in case the world's got quiet. Oh, we had something being said. That means I don't have to talk about what's on my head. Neo for All on Dreamcast is weird with the Dreamcast controller. Never heard of it, but I do hope you get used to it. Also, this thing is adorable next to me. Nope. It's wild, though. While a fursuit making takes up a lot of money and materials and time and skills, VR avatar building takes up just as much time, skills, time and effort, so they're both as complicated as each other, just in different ways. This is very true. Even just uploading avatars for me, this one goes through pain and suffering.
The amount of swearing I get when I'm playing around with Unity, this one does.
I think everyone I know that plays Unity has that much swearing. Neo for All is Neo Geo. Oh, okay. And Mendy wants me to exercise. 10 squats. All right. I did my squats this morning. This one I actually got to watch since they were upstairs during squat time. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There, 10 squats. All right, getting back to comfy zone. Lazy Hobkin, back in chair. Screen back. All right. Next next on the fun list, I did get a new dress off of Amazon recently, and I'm really quite pleased with it. Every once in a while you find something that actually fits, looks okay, and doesn't cost all the money. This one did cost a little more than my average dress purchase off of Amazon, but not by much. So the Umbreon doesn't have to be grumpy at me too much. I think she's just happy that I'm doing things that are pretty. No, just grumpy at me for spending money. It's blue, lots of layers of Tully on the outside in different ways, lots of applique, gemmy things, and it has a really comfortable fitting corset bodice, so not only will it stay in place well, but it very much fits on Caddie's fursuit. I already took the video of it, I haven't put it up yet, but it's a good find. I'm really happy with it. Have you seen Small Soldiers? Isn't that the one with the animated toy soldiers that go crazy and try and kill people?
Yeah, but only because they're programmed to put the monsters, not actually monsters. They just don't want to fight.
So that, yes, that is. I have seen that movie. That was okay. Yeah, that was back when I was in like high schoolish age, I think. Caddie, how do you heal from all the walking from cons, expos? My knees are shot. Okay. This is very simple. One, take at least one day off after you are driving home from the con event, etc. Minimum, take a day off after your travel. Number 2, adult candy. What is adult candy, you may ask? Ibuprofen. Also, in our house, known as I be hurtin'. Take them as need be. It helps. And sometimes if I know I've had a long day at a con or whatever, and I'm not done with the con yet, I'm not hurting yet, but I know I'm going to hurt before I wake up, I usually will take one at the event each night just to make sure I'm not in pain the next day, so I can enjoy this event that I paid hundreds of dollars to be at and have fun. Because the older you get, the less fun you can have on the hour.
I've said not going to get older. I'm done.
Me too. It has Tommy Lee Jones in it, which he really did good. Yeah, that's right. He was in that. Yeah, it's been ages. I apologize. And for all of those of you who are still kind of feeling young, Jurassic Park was in like 1990.
Be good. Be good. Good.
As need be, wouldn't too much be just as bad. The daily dose says something like 4 total pills and like every 6 hours. I'm not your doctor. I'm not going to tell you how much you should and shouldn't take of pills. And it does actually vary from person to person, not just on 4 pills is acceptable and 5 is like death. But just make sure you're not taking too much that you're getting yourself hooked. But yeah, if you keep yourself, say, around the 4 or less per day until you're feeling better, you'll probably be okay. Avoid doing it for longer than a week, I would say, on a continuous basis. You don't want to overdo yourself.
You know what, Caddie?
We need more cowbell.
You need more cowbell.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. He voiced Major Chip Hazard. Yep, I'm remembering him doing that. I remember before big walking days, stretch like you would before other exercises. Yes. Mendy has a big point there. Yes, this doesn't fix the past, but yeah, make sure you stretch. And practice walking a lot before you go to an event if you can. One thing we try to do since we are Fitbitters, we keep an eye on our walking and try and do a lot more walking for the month or two at least before a con or event, just to make sure that come event we're feeling good. In general, walk more on your non-con times to help improve that. The more you're walking your free time, the less the standing around walking a con will hit you. I love the Retro Games Expo. I am so glad. I really am. I'm glad you had a good time. 30 years ago this year. Yep. I remember watching it. I was a kid. Tried Wipeout on the PS1 with NegCon. It was natural feeling. Neat. I need to remember these walking tips for MFF coming up in a few months. I put a lot of steps in for that con. You sure do. Well, you also work that con. Oh no.
Oh yes. It's not working now.
Ha! I'm safe. What's the last time you went to cons/expos? Last week in June, up into the first couple days of July. Anthrocon in Pittsburgh. We were there from the Wednesday. We traveled Wednesday, and we drove home on Monday. And the end of the con is on Monday. We leave the hotel, drive to my parents' house, which generally takes longer than it should sitting around at their house, and finally getting home late at night that Monday. It turns into a really long day. And not what we need for our last day of the con. We probably really need to go home and sleep. No, we go and not sleep because we're dumb and being nice to my parents. Fopsy's playing with all the instruments in the room. NegCon is the Namco twisting controller. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed playing with that. I tried the Mad Catz Dreamcast wheel and Mad Catz. Well, I can tell you one thing. Mad Catz sucked. I can't think of any game controllers for Mad Catz that were any better than passable. And I usually use that term loosely. They were either not really super comfortable, the buttons didn't press quite right. I think I had a few Pelican brand controllers for the PS2 era, though I actually found more comfortable and more functional than the actual PS2 controllers. But that's really was a rarity with third-party controllers back in the earlier days. You're having fun.
Maybe.
I definitely owned a few different Mad Catz controllers just because occasionally you needed a little brother controller, as it were, or like a friend is over visiting and they need a controller to play with you. I was all over the Afterglow controllers. Was that a brand? I'll get that in just a second. The only good Mad Catz thing did was the GameCube memory cards, which I remember were like 16 times a regular memory card. So, heck yeah.
Caddie, don't move. Face the camera.
I actually can't see what you're doing. Tuck it away. You're adorable. I can't recall who made them, but I'm fighting myself to buy a new one. And I'm getting that hydrate right now there, my handy. Here it comes. Mmm. 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 Sweet, sweet hydration. Now get my arm back. There we go. Baba Deer is being cute as usual. Yes, you are. You're being adorable back there. And you put a plant in my head.
You hydrated. Now you're growing.
Thank you. You're adorable. Back in the N64 through PS2 and GameCube era, I definitely bought a lot of third-party hardware because I also didn't have a lot of money and I wanted to be able to play with friends. And controllers broke in general, so I was all about buying some spare controllers. And when a brand name controller was like $25 even, it was hard to say that was a smart buy. But when you got a third-party controller that was comfy for $10, you bought that third-party controller for $10. You might even go back and buy another one of a different color just so you had two for when one breaks down. Which is why I have both a green and a purple of that one PlayStation 2 controller I really, really liked. Ooh. Oh, you were naked there for a minute. The stream has just gone adult. No, it hasn't. You're furry, so you're covered anyway.
It's okay. I have glasses, so I'm not technically naked.
It's true. It's weird. Is it weird that I thought the old Sears logo looked like the Sega font? No. Oh. Yeah, kinda, I guess. Good points there. I have... Oh. Hi. Silly little tooth. I have the SuperPad GameCube controller. I like to use. It drives my friends nuts. You know, whatever controller that actually you like, use it. Nothing wrong with that. I love you, sweet little floof. You're so cute. Okay. My little floof is getting tired. It's been a long day for both of us. Thank you for coming and joining us. Say bye to my little Fopsy, everybody. Bye, cutie. You be good. There are some nice color controllers out currently. The only thing stopping me is cost. Yeah. We ended up getting like 3 total controllers for the PS5 because initially the bundle I got that got me the access to it said I had to buy a second controller, so I bought a pink one. And then we found out they had purple controllers. So then I went and bought the Fopsy a purple one because purple is her favorite color. So now we have a purple one and a pink one and the white one that's the backup, friend controller. Or the one that's already charged whenever you drain your controller. Mandy says, rest up, Fopsy. Master of Fluff says, see ya, Fopsy. Waves pom-poms. Danny says, bye, Fopsy. Mendy used a bunch of heart Fopsy icons. Hydro says, have a safe night. Denny says, being the first Dreamcast user, I didn't know that I had to take out the VMU. Oh. Yeah, you have to take out the VMU. Stego says, wonderful seeing Fopsy. Hydra says it was good to see Fopsy. More Fopsy hearts for Fopsy from Denny. There's this night sky purple, but also this pastel sherbet looking one. Both are Xbox, but use those on the PC. Understandable. Our PC controllers are both Logitech ones, almost the exact same model. Fopsy has the wired one, and I have the wireless one. Not because we love each other any less. Fopsy got hers first, and at the time, the wireless one was either, I don't remember if it was just really expensive or not accessible. And when I got mine, the wired one wasn't accessible, so I had to buy the wireless one. You remember that sub that was going down to see the Titanic? The one that kind of didn't, and I really don't want to get into that story too hard. That's actually the controller I have. That silver Logitech controller. That is what I play Cult of the Lamb on every Wednesday right now. So, controller's good for playing Cult of the Lamb. Not going to really say it's great for driving subs, but we've had both of our computer controllers for a lot of years. I know we bought them both back at least Carlisle age, so that's well past 6 years old. I honestly don't remember when Fopsy bought the wired one. I think it was after we moved in together. So within the last 14 years is about as close as I can be sure. But yeah, both have been really good little tanks. Logitech makes some good hardware. We both use Logitech keyboards. I think it's the 710 M with cherry browns. We both use Logitech mice. I have, I think it's the 602. It's the wireless gaming mouse. And the Fopsy has the wireless gaming trackball. In fact, pretty much all the mice in this house are Logitech brand, even at our upstairs computers. Fopsy uses the basic Logitech trackballs upstairs. I use the little mini Logitech mice upstairs. So yeah, just saying, Logitech mice, they're really nice. Let's see, where did I lose off when I went on a long train of thought? The VMU would drain if left in the controller. I did not know that. Honestly, I didn't own a Dreamcast for long, so I didn't get a chance to know that. I was going to ask, you should play Subnautica. Okay. Being not as attached to the incident, I could say, yes, I'm allowed to laugh. You and Fopsy are hecking adorable. Aw, thank you, Danny. Fopsy the adorable one. So are you. We have the Xbox, so the controllers have to use it. You see, that's fair. I think you can use the PlayStation controllers, the PS4 and 5 ones with the computer. I just never really have. It's never come up. I'm pretty sure you can use the 3 ones with it, and we have several of those too. We only have 2 PS4 controllers, but I know we can use those on the PS5 as well. So hey, that means we have 5 PS5 controllers. Denny says, I have a Razer keyboard and headset. Even seen their store in the mall. Ooh. I have no problem with Razer stuff specifically, one way or the other. I'll be honest. When I was shopping for mice and keyboards and controllers and things, most of the time I went to the Best Buy. Not necessarily to buy it there, but to feel everything. I felt all the gaming mice before I picked the one I have. Put my hand on them, cupped them, felt the buttons, felt where they were, how comfortable, how they worked with me. Wired, wireless, didn't care. That wasn't the important part. It was how things felt. And a lot of people try to tell me that a very similar model, the one I have that's a wired version, is better. But I tried that one and it didn't feel right in my hands, so it's not the one I bought. Our headsets, our gaming headsets, I specifically picked up the first one of them because I tried it on at Best Buy and it didn't make my ears feel scrunched. The Logitech 802, I think it was. They're the wireless headsets with RGB. We've had problems with them, yes, but my God, they're really comfortable, and they had 7.1 surround sound for a headset. That's really nice. It was really nice and long battery life. And they still work, too, when you have them plugged into a power source, so if you game too long, you can just jack in for a bit. The blue they used on the PS5 controllers doesn't match the earlier gen, and that's part of me is like, fine, I guess. This I can understand. I do actually have the blue controller from the PS4 era. When our controller popped a hat, before I found replacement nub covers, I went out and bought a replacement controller. So we have a blue controller and a black controller for the PS5 or PS4, and now since I got a replacement nub cover for the left stick, it has a unmatched but really comfy left stick cover. You should try some. Oh, Denny, thank you. I totally appreciate. Thank you for that. Our Kraken have THX surround sound. That is awesome. I didn't know I needed a good headset till I bought mine. The biggest reason I bought the headset I did, not just because it was comfortable. At the time, I was work at home, and Fopsy had just got a job at the same company, but our hours were not the same. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment. There isn't that far I could go to get away from work when I was off of work, because I could still hear work constantly because Fopsy was on the phones at the time still. New hire at the time. So I got ear cup headphones that had really good volume, and I was able to play video games, and I got out of work by the fact that I couldn't hear work. And then shortly thereafter, we got Fopsy a pair of them because they're really nice. They're actually really comfy. So, yeah, it was a good upgrade to our lives. The PS2, I'm guessing that was 3. Yep, it was 3. And 4 were that darker blue. The newer one is more of an icy blue. I don't think we had a PS2 one or a 3 one, but we definitely had the PS4 one. Oh, yeah, because we only had 2 PS3 controllers. We had the one that came with it, and we ended up buying a Logitech one that has a little USB sticky thing to make it work. And since we moved, I don't know where the little USB stick thingy is. It's probably in a bag with USB data sticks or something. But I have no idea where that's at. It's a pretty good controller, too. It was actually one of the best third-party controllers. Again, it's Logitech, so they're not Mad Cats. They actually know what they're doing. And then PS4, we bought 2 actual brand-name controllers by the time we moved on from that. And the PS5, yeah, within a month, we owned 3 controllers for the stupid thing. And I've played all of 20 minutes on it since October. I'm sorry, Fopsy, I've hardly played with our PS5 that I stood in front of the store to buy. But I know you've played a lot with it, so that matters. Yeah. I'm just happy they made a pink PS5 controller, and I know you can get a pink PS5 reshell for it. In fact, my sister picked one up for herself, which is really awesome. But I really do kind of like the Seto Kaiba look to the machine as it currently stands. It looks kind of sexy under the TV in its giant slot. I had a third-party controller at first for the PS3, but had no 6-axis, which means I couldn't play some games that I had, but wasn't aware of that. Wow, that is interesting. One of the first games we got at least tries to make you use 6-axis, and that's the reason why we didn't keep playing it more than the first, 5 minutes. It was one of the Spyro the Hedgehog games. I don't remember the name of it, because we played all of, 5 minutes of it. Got angry at the fact that we had to play controller tilt to make it work, because we're like, I want to sit comfortably, not play controller tilt. This does not... I don't have a Wii. I don't want to play Waggle. The Ratchet and Clank needed 6-axis. I have one of those games. I've never played it, but we have one of those games. On the PS3 even. The more I get, the less I get around to playing games. I feel bad about it to some extent, but elsewise, I enjoy. Yes, it is a classic furry game. In fact, I know a few Lombaxes in the furry fandom, so yes, very much so. Gas. Tonight being Monday was cooking night, so I have a little gnocchi gas in me. It was really tasty, as usual. And I gotta say, it was really nice getting to sit down in the living room and eat dinner with my Fopsy on a weeknight, which is something we have not gotten to do in ages. When you get off an hour and a half before your partner, it's kind of hard to wait to eat till they get off. I know some of you can probably relate. Plenty of games on the PS3 that I've owned and never actually spent much time or any in it. I wanted to play more Prototype because I was such a big fan of Infamous. But after playing Infamous first, Prototype just felt like it was the prototype for Infamous. Like the beta version that they didn't put the textures on yet. Because it just looks like so clean and so plain and so dull. The powers are so plain and so clean and so dull comparatively. It doesn't feel as cool as being a grumpy messenger boy who got blown up on purpose by his future self. That I don't mean to spoil the game too much. Because that game not only was fun, looked good, controlled like a beautiful beast. The story had a good story to it. That's one of the first games in a long time when I played it that made me go, oh my god, this game's story makes me want to keep going. I don't want my day to have to end because it's bedtime. I don't want the weekend to get over. I want to find out what happens to Cole next. And to beat that next weird boss. And climb up that building, that tower of schmutz made by the Dustmen. Ugh. Such a fun game. I never played Prototype. I loaned it to someone, and then when they moved, they kept saying it was their copy. Ugh. I'm sorry. Honestly, if you ever want to play it and you're in town, say so. PS3's in our gaming room here. It's sitting on the shelf over there. Controllers are somewhere. I think they're on top of the games, honestly. To be honest, the one controller that gets used with the PS3 all the time is the Blu-ray remote. Because PS3 became the computer room's Blu-ray player, so I throw in movies into that device whenever stuff comes out. I find it funny. We have in the living room 5.1 surround sound and a 60-inch 4K television. We even own a 4K Blu-ray player in there. And I tend to watch movies and stuff that I pay money for here in the computer room on our oldest flat panel television, which was our first flat panel we bought in Carlisle, probably 12-ish to 13 years ago, give or take. I don't remember exactly when this happened. It says RCA on the front of it, so if you know how long it's been since you've seen an RCA television in the stores, that'll give you a good concept. So yeah, we watched movies on our old 40, played through the PS3, because I want to sit at my computer desk and be able to browse the internet while I'm in my comfy computer chair. Granted, the couch is comfy. I have a laptop out there and I could browse the internet on that, but I like my chair. I have so many games that I still feel like I'd want to go back and play on the PS2, the PS3, PS4, and older stuff, N64, GameCube, few SNES games and Nintendo games I have sitting over there. To be honest, I have a higher probability of playing some of the old NES games or the Atari games than I do of playing any of the PS3 games or the PS2 games. In fact, every time I'm sitting here and I hear Autumn saying something about being in and out of combat and in turn-based mode for playing the Blah Blah's Gate game, all I want to do is run into the other room, pick up a copy of Combat, and bring it out and sit it on her desk in front of her. Okay. I'm in combat. Here's Combat. You're now in combat. The Atari games are some of the few games that are not on shelves behind me. Not because I don't love them, but because they take up a lot of space. And I have quite a few duplicate games in there, like, well, Combat for one. I inherited quite a few different people's Atari collections over the years, so I have, well, multiples of things. Atari was a great system. I cannot deny it was a really important part of my childhood. So many Pac-Mans. Oh, yes. I only ever owned the first Pac-Man on the Atari. I never had Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man Jr. on there. I so want those. They're on my wish list. But probably won't happen in real life. But yeah, the original poorly rendered yellow Pac-Man with a blue background. I spent so many hours playing that game. So many hours playing that original crappy port of Pac-Man that a dude made in like a single night for Atari. I have so many copies of the first from other people. Well, yeah, because they got it thinking it's going to be Pac-Man. And then it was not as good. Circus Atari was my jam. Aw, nice. I loved playing Taz, which was one of our first Atari games. We got it when we were given the Atari initially for Christmas that year. Air Sea Battle got a lot of hours, but Dig Dug and Centipede were two of the few games that I actually went out with money and purchased. On purpose, I bought both Centipede and Dig Dug back when I was just a wee hobkin. I spent so many hours playing both of those two games. I was really, really happy with them. As far as home ports of those two games, they were near perfect, and on an Atari, that says something. So no disappoint, not a bit of disappoint in either game. They were fun. I remember when we first got a Nintendo, though, and it didn't make me want to get rid of the Atari, I'll be honest. I liked playing my new Nintendo games, but I still also had liked playing my Atari games. Because not only did I have a Nintendo with like 2 games initially, maybe 3 pretty quickly, but I had stacks and stacks of games I could play on the Atari. I had so many options. I had plenty of things I could do. So why would I get rid of this other game system? So right from the get-go, I was a nostalgia keeper for video games. Didn't want to get rid of, didn't want to stop playing. I kind of was sad that when I hit the 16-bit era, I kind of got stuck. We went from barely not poor to probably poor. Right a little after I was joined the Genesis squad. So I didn't get another game system from the early 90s all the way up till I was in college in, I think it was after it crested 2000 that I picked up my green N64. So it was a stretch there that I was on Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through 3 and Spinball and a couple other games that I didn't play very much of. Because those were the best things to play I had. Yeah, I went to Genesis to GameCube. Yeah, you're feeling me there then, because that's a long stretch. I did have Game Boy, and I believe I got my Game Boy Color long before I got my N64. In fact, I got the N64. My initial purpose was to play Pokemon Stadium. No lie there. I specifically got it to play Pokemon Stadium. In fact, before I got my own N64, I had a college roommate that had an N64, and our work schedules were not the same, so he had no problem with me in the living room plugging my Pokemons in there and playing on his N64. So that was really awesome. And then I got my awesome green N64 for the bedroom, so I could play anytime I wanted. That was sweet. And then I figured out there was one of those game stores in the mall just across the highway from us in the Parkway Center Mall, and my bus stopped there. So I stopped there. And I had some income, so I bought a ton of stupid games, that most of which I have played very little of. No, it was more like one of the basic answers back then, like EB or GameStop or Software, etc. I can't remember which one it was called at the time, but it was one of those. Wild. Never owned a GameCube, so I skipped that generation of Nintendo. CD was great for used stuff. Oh, there were so many good places for used stuff back then before GameStop bought everybody. It was so much of a better market for buyers, but, well, I guess the sellers weren't getting as much fun out of it. They weren't making all the profits. Sad face. Because I bought a PlayStation 2 before I bought a GameCube, I did not buy much for the GameCube. In fact, our combined GameCube library, when we got together and bought a few more after getting the Wii, is only like 10 games. If that. Oh, the CD warehouse is right outside the Parkway Center Mall? Oh, I didn't know that. I was shopping the one inside the mall. Hydro Wolf says, I have to go now. This was a good stream. Have a good and safe night to me and to Fopsy and everyone else. If you're still in the earshot, sweetie, Hydro Wolf says, have a good night. I'm not sure. I can't see, so I'm not sure if Fopsy hears me or not. I'll let her know later. Yeah, I remember in the PS2-ish era / Xbox original / GameCube, being able to go to the different used stores now that I had a car and money because I had a job, and being able to pick up so many fun used games for the PS2, for the PS1, for my N64, for anything that looked even remotely fun. It was the day of kings. You had so many choices, and they were all actually priced well. Not like today. Oh, this game's been out for a year. All right, new one, $60. Used one, $55. This is not a deal. Give me the new one that's not scratched up and still has the manual and the DLC code for the extra character. Because otherwise, what's the $5? I'm not saving $5. I'm losing $5 of material. GameCube and PS2 Slim used the brick connector power cord, so it meant that I could use American systems in Europe, which made it cheaper since there was no competition there, and there were no lower prices for games. That's smart. I like the fact that you had that option. That is awesome. I had the original PS2. I don't remember the exact year that system actually came out, but I do know I got it with one of my first few paychecks from my first real job after college, working in the data center. And that's also the day I bought Spyro 1 through 3 on in a little combo sleeve with all 3 jewel cases in it. That was a big day for me. And we were pretty late into buying the Wii. It wasn't because I honestly don't know why we weren't forcing ourselves onto it, but then we saw it for cheap and we're like, yeah, everybody we've all played bowling before on there and it was fun. And we picked it up. Ended up actually playing a lot on that stupid thing. Own a lot of games for it. Probably some of the dumbest games are the ones I spent the most time on too. But hey, fun's fun. Whatever makes you happy, that's the game to play. It was pretty rad and kept me busy since I'd buy a stack of games to play over the next 5 months. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And I'm assuming at that time you were still on the self-employed artist option and not trying to mix that in with a go to the office type job or anything. This is not complaining about your situation, more of a just trying to define. You then had all of that time you weren't busy arting to then not be driving to and from the office, and therefore then you could enjoy your games while you're stuck in a place that's far from your family. Yeah, this was when I was overseas and couldn't really find work. Fair. Very fair. But hey, at least then you had something to do. That's a good sign. And you got to spend some time in a different country for a while, so that is kind of a cool thing to have in your mental resume of stuff you've done. I mean, I know I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. We all have. But without making some of the mistakes we've made, we wouldn't have had a lot of the experiences we have, and we wouldn't know what we know and be able to do what we do. I don't think I'd be married to the most amazing fox in the world, own a house, have a job that's stable, not be covered to my head in credit card debt, and actually feeling like a successful, more or less acceptable adult human being. And I say adult very loosely simply because I still don't understand what adult means. I still feel like I'm a 20-year-old who just gets tired sooner. Speaking of which, I know Fopsy's in the room, and I know they're tired. Because I hear the tired noises. They're so adorable. And it's denying it. Cute little snores. Yeah. Do. Oh, something I got into a couple weeks ago. I just had a craving, and I decided I was going to give this a whirl again. When I was a kid, one of the things that I ate a lot of were baked yams or sweet potatoes. Technically, they're not yams in the United States, most of what you're going to get. But most people call them that. So just for reference, the orange tater product that's sweet. I used to eat those all the time as a kid. Loved the heck out of them. And I was wondering why I wasn't eating them now as an adult. I was like, I'm at the store. I see how much they cost. Not bad. So I picked one up. I threw it in the oven for an hour and a half or so. Applied butter and, because I had it, a little brown sugar. I can eat them with just the butter, honestly, but I have the brown sugar, and I think it makes them taste better, so a little bit of taste better. Mushed it up real good. Oh my glob, I forgot how much I loved those stupid orange tater products. They are delicious. And I got one that was like the size of a softball, but turned into a log, for like $1. And that's a lot of food, too. That's a big, dense piece of delicious, full of vitamin A, I think it is. Or at least the beta-carotene that makes you make, good stuff. Vitamins. Better for me than eating French fries by far. I was like, wow, this is good. Why am I not doing this? I'm like, well, yeah, I have to think an hour and a half ahead before I'm going to eat it that I want to eat it, because it takes a while to bake one of those things off. But if you do it, it's like, well, there you go. It's there. It's good. It's delicious. It made me happy. So I went and bought a second one, had that. Experience was even better the second time. So, yeah, we're going to keep repeating that process. I'm going to buy more of them yummy yams. Bake them off. If you're curious of my system, if you're somehow completely out of the loop of how to bake the yam, take it home, wash it really good under running water, just scrub it with your hands or a scrubby brush or something until you got all the dirt off, because they do grow in the dirt. You want to wash that off. While it's still wet, place it on a piece of aluminum foil that's more than enough to wrap it completely. And I do mean completely, no end holes or anything. Very thoroughly salt and pepper it on the foil, because then, well, any that doesn't stick is already sticking with it because it'll be in the foil. Wrap it up like a little burrito baby till it's nice and tight and hopefully minimal chance of leaking. Stick it in the oven. If you can tell where the final seam is on your tater, hopefully, make sure that's facing up just so that any juices try to not leak out. And bake for about an hour and a half. If you have something else that's cooking in the oven, in now or the near future at that point, bake it whatever that is. I find 400 degrees seems to be the best answer at an hour and a half. I got the best potato bake. The bigger the potato, the longer it's going to take. So if it's thicker, take longer to bake through. Once extracted, be careful. Extract from foil, place on plate, slice in half lengthwise. Cut up the innards a little, like till the field with your fork till it's busted up a bit. Add your butter, squish that in. If you're putting brown sugar, bank some on there. Squish it around till the butter all melts, and if you have sugar, till it's all combined in, and you have yourself a delicious, fairly healthy, yummy thing. I'll be honest, I can't eat them with just straight up, not even the butter. And if you bake them well, that skin even tastes delicious. At best, I leave like a stemmy bit from the very tip, depending on if it had a really woody stem to it at its end point. Unlike regular potatoes, they tend to not have just eyes everywhere, but at best you probably have kind of a nipple at each end where the stem either grew in or out from. And that's it. Delicious. Delicious, filling, inexpensive, something that's very homemade effectively. And it's, it's a happy food. It's good childhood memories for me. My grandma, dad's mom, grandma would always keep yams in the house in case I was visiting because she knew how much I loved them. So that's also a very good memory. Grandma would always put one in. I didn't ask. She just always did it, which was awesome. So that's an important thing. Yams are good for you and delish. And another fun thing that I've been doing that's actually sparking my attention more lately, and if you watch my FA, you'd notice this. I started drawing again, and I'm actually enjoying that I'm drawing. There are times where I've gone in and started to draw for a while, and then I'd stop because I felt like not only did I feel like I wasn't making progress, but I felt like I was getting worse as I was drawing and running out of ideas of what to draw. And that really slowed down my train. I was feeling like my quality was just getting worse. I felt like I wasn't able to get any kind of useful new art myself. But lately, the bug has clipped me again. And me and my XP Pen tablet have been getting some doodle on. I did get a new art done this weekend for myself. I think it was either the weekend before or the weekend before that I did another one. Yay for doodle time. Woo! I am all for doodle. I should let myself do not complete arts more. Just sit down and sketch a bit. And just work with things. But usually by the time I've made something even part way, I want to finish it to as finished as I want to make it. Because part of what drives me to do art is because I want to see finished art in the end as far as finished gets. And sometimes that can be very satisfying. Yeah. I can feel that. I can feel how that would be satisfying. I would often pay way better artists than me to do a sketch for me, and then I would color it. There was this Mehendi person who I bought a lot of sketches from that I've colored. You wouldn't know them. They're some tiger person. I met them on a Lion King fan art archive long ago. Quite a few sketches that wonderful tiger drew for me, and I colored in. Also, sketches from Nanook or Trish. I've colored a lot of those in. And other random artists who I off here and there would get a sketch from, I would love to color and finish off and make, at least to my level of quality, a done picture. I loved the fact that I could see my character in so many different ways that were, as far as I felt at that point, outside of my reach. I understood the concept of turn the head to the left and it looks like this. I understood the concept of look up or look down or open the mouth or whatever. Moo. Hi, Eric Foxy. Welcome to me babbling. I'm talking about art right now. I understood the idea of how moving the character around, I'd have to move this little bit here more, or grow this a little more. But my hands didn't always understand what was going on in my head. Even though I understood where the lines needed to be, or how they needed to be, it was hard for me to put it on paper or on digital, depending on what I was working with at that moment. And it really stung. I wanted to be better. I knew what I wanted to draw. I understood how it was supposed to work, but I still couldn't make it happen. It was frustrating. I still can't do everything I want to do, but more and more, I feel more like I'm getting close enough, if that makes enough sense. And I feel like what I'm doing now definitely is getting better, and I like that. And I want to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep doing that. Emmy tackles the stuffings out of Caddie and Snuggle. Aw. Hi, Emmy. It's good to see you, little floof. How are you tonight? We are just relaxing and having babble talk tonight. Currently talking about art. Initially when I was drawing, I mostly on paper. At some point I picked up a really, really crappy digital tablet. That's Miss Feathers to you. I'm an owl when I get a new computer. Yes, ma'am, Miss Feathers, you little tweet. I'll get you some mice. I bought this really, really crappy tablet off of, I think it was Newegg at the time. Obviously no screen. The pen took quadruple A batteries, so not even self-charging like a modern piece of hardware at all. And I was horrible with it. Mendy is actually the one that gave me my first better tablet. His old Wacom, whatever it was called. It was about the same size as the one I was working with before, but, well, let's just say that Wacom worked way better. Like 1,000,000 times better. That was a step of improvement. Year or two after that, I invested in a better Wacom even. I bought one of the semi-professional style ones, the Intuos 4, medium size. And, when I started using that, it was like, I felt like I was using butter to draw with as opposed to crayons. It felt like a major step again of an upgrade. But I was still no screen on my tablet. And there's a very major disconnect from draw a line with your hand to it appearing on the screen that makes it harder to do things. And sometime in the last couple years, I broke down, I think it was 2020, and spent the about $300-ish on my XP pen tablet with a screen. It has a weird USB-C connector because it's USB-C on the end of the tablet itself. The other end has a squid, a USB plug that goes into the computer, an HDMI plug that goes into the computer for the display, and another USB that you're supposed to plug into a power outlet to power the thing, which I found out later I accidentally hadn't plugged in right for the longest time. It still works when it doesn't have the power went in, but the screen is dimmer. So it was good when I finally figured that out and made it work nicer. So yeah. And that's what I currently have. Hello, Nepal. Welcome to the stream this evening. It is good to see you, Plushy Floof. We're talking about a lot of things. Art was the most recent. Excuse me. Apparently my gnocchi is repeating some more. It wanted to talk to. Let me reflash since I sat up. There we go. Now I can not slouch and stare downward as much. I definitely am happier with drawing. I hope to keep drawing more. The art I did this weekend. Aw, thank you. I found a free pink Hobkin Redux, and I love it. It's one that I definitely try and use as often as possible. I got good ear waggle. So the art I did on Saturday this week is supposed to be part 1 of some stuff I'm going to be doing for myself. And I intend to go all the way to some kind of logical completion. I haven't decided how many pictures it's going to take. But if you saw it and you've seen some of my previous art, specifically my most popular series of art that some tiger drew, poke. Promote. Tiger does good art. If you've seen some of my most popular art that I have on my FA account, you'll know kind of the idea where you're going with this one. Brief. By the way, if you're curious there, Tiger Unit, my most favorited art and my most looked at art are both by you, both in the same genre, but not out of the same series. So, just a heads up. One of them has almost 4,000 views, and the other one is over 200 favorites. So, you have done well there, Tiger. Very well. If I had money for a VR set, yay for arting! Well, a basic VR setup right now from the index style here is $1,000. And that's definitely more than enough to make for a good experience, assuming you have a decent enough video card in your computer. And by far, it definitely needs to have a DisplayPort plug in it. It requires one, so you need to make sure that's okay. Yeah, if I had a spare 1K laying around, yeah, I know the feeling. I actually spent my annual, some of my annual bonus on my VR setup because I'd been wanting it, and I played around in VR chat enough before I decided, yes, this is something I can invest in. 2,600, 26. The number you just wrote, yes, you should be okay. You'd be able to easily handle an index. And if you're ever curious, and you want to try before you buy, in a sense, without actually getting to try it, Valve does have a test program that will check your computer to see if you are up to snuff. It's like a very super low key, like a tiny download, but it just basically does a systems check to make sure what you have is compatible and will work for you. You work for the state and we don't get yearly bonuses? Yeah, sorry about that. I work for a company that definitely does. So, yay! Emmy's asking if Fopsy is in chat. Not at the moment. Fopsy was in the stream with me earlier, but I know what Fopsy's doing right now because Fopsy's in earshot. Fopsy is definitely not awake. It's adorable. And if she's even partially awake, she's probably grumbling about the fact that I said that she was being adorable. Nope, snoring still. Hey, definitely asleep. And I did find a bit more sad owl. I miss Fops. Oh, I'm sorry. She's usually at least watching Heartwood streams in the morning, though. So when you're there, you can always say hi. We both tend to pull that little angel up when he's streaming. So, yay, you can see her then. Also, if you want to see her, she's streaming tomorrow night. And on Fridays. So, yay! Just click on her name and boom. Follow-ficate. Though I think I have seen you popping into her chat. So, yay, thank you. I mentioned before about, Night Caddie back to World of Warcraft. Well, have fun crafting your Worlds of War there, little Emmy Burb. Tweet at all the baddies and peck them to down till you win and be the best that ever was. To peck them is your real task. To talon them is your call. You will craft across the land, warring far and wide. Each Ogremon to understand the red juices that were inside. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I mentioned a few weeks ago that I noticed the prices for chicken leg quarters in a baggie, as opposed to on one of those little styrofoam trays, was significantly cheaper. So I bought them a couple times since then. The initial attempt. No regrets, period. Big reason why. This last time when I picked up the 10-pound pack of 8 really bulky chicken leg quarters, it was $6.72. A 4-pound 4-pack of chicken thighs was over $8. Okay, so I'm getting 6 more pounds of food, and I'm paying less, and I turned it into 2 meals, 2 Monday cooks. I cook half of them the one week, freezer bag the other 4, and cook the other 4 next week. So yeah, good value, and they tasted fine. It wasn't like, because I've gotten like off-brand chicken parts before, and they can taste like kind of wonk. These tasted fine, no issues. So good thing. We got some chicken leggies a couple of weeks ago, and Sonny did a brine and put them on the smoker, and it was amazing. I bet they were. That's always good. Usually week 1, if I'm eating the just open the pack, I just put them straight on the cookie sheet on foil and use one of the McCormick's Grill Master seasonings, which is more than good. Bake them for an hour. They taste really nice. But when I do the repeat process with the other pack, the ones I put in the freezer, I tend to brine those because now I have to defrost them. They have to sit in the sink anyway. So I brine those bad boys, and they sometimes are a little juicier, which is not bad. Then I do the same thing. I put them on the cookie sheet, Grill Master, sprinkle, thoroughly sprinkle all over, bake for about an hour at 385 degrees per our oven. Leftover leg meat makes for good tacos. Aha! Oh, we have so used leftover legs and thighs to make tacos and burritos with. Very, very smart move. Very good use of stuffs. Now I want tacos. I'm still full from dinner, but now I want tacos. Taco, 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 taco. I want the taco. Ooh, that does sound tasty. Yeah. Yeah, now I need to come over and visit, and you make smoked chicky kickers and then make tacos the next day with the leftovers. This is a good idea. We'll bust out an avocado, put them on there. And then I get to pet Dorian. I like petting Dorian. Yeah. I miss your kitties. I miss your doggies too. And you. And your other dog you have. Avocado does not agree with the plushie. I am so sorry. Avocado definitely agrees with this lion. Can you believe? No, Dorian's still a kitten. Dorian's still the 2-year-old little derp from when I met him. He is a good kitten. Not 16. Can't be. Because 16 years have not passed since I remember meeting him the first time. Well, 14 years since he was 2 when I met him. So he can't be that old. He's losing his hearing, but otherwise he's great. Yay! I'm glad. I'm glad he's still a happy kitty, because he was a good boy. Very good boy. I have still halfway considered getting a cat, even with the allergies, but I don't think I could, deal with it long term. So unfortunately, we have to leave that as a not answer. Sadly on that one. We both would like pets, but, breathing around animals has been getting worse as time goes by, especially kitties, so every time I visit with someone with a cat in the last few years, I spend the next week afterwards recovering, even if I took allergy meds during the time. So, sad face. Very sad face. I have successfully switched to not missing the fact that I buy store brand soda. It hurts a lot that in just the time from like December of this last year up until now, prices for the store brand has gone up to where the name brand was, and the name brand is now over twice as much as what the store brand currently is. I am okay with the fact that I can drink Diet Sam's Choice Cola or Diet Dr. Thunder, and I'm okay with that because I honestly cannot budget $3 for a bottle of Diet Cherry Pepsi. I can't. That's coming up in smoking prices from when I was a kid, because like a pack of cigarettes per day person. And I don't drink a whole 2 liter in a single day, usually about 2/3-ish. But still, I can't say that needs to be a $3 bottle. And thank you, Mendy, for coming and visiting. Have a good rest of your night, and I hope to have a good stream too. Hug your corgi for me, pet all the doggos and the kitties. And if you have any other animals still at your house at the moment, pet them too. Make sure your pet Sunny. He deserves pets. Thank you. What else was on my list? I have intentions of baking more. I have not succeeded at that. I got what I need to make bread. Not necessarily not a sourdough or anything, just your basic loaf of white bread. Which I do really enjoy a fresh baked loaf of bread. It's a thing. I think everybody who has had it understands why a fresh baked loaf of bread is such a good thing. Doesn't matter what kind it is. If it's fresh baked, you get it out of the oven, you slice it, maybe slather just a tiny bit of butter on it, and you're just like, I'm happy. We're good. We're in good space. This is fine now. We're all fine now. How are you? Also, I can save on desserty things, even if it's just using a mix. Baking a cake mix or a brownie mix is really a good savings as far as even when you add in the egg or two and the bit of oil, and then the process of baking. It's a lot cheaper to get a 9x13 sheet pan of cake or a 9x9 square brownies, even if you bought the brand name fancy ones. Which, spoiler alert, the 2 packs of brownies in our pantry both have the word Ghirardelli on them. So I didn't even buy the cheap brownies. And comparing that to buying... Alright, I used to occasionally buy a small birthday cake type sheet cake every once in a while as my daily dessert until it ran out. And I get quite a few desserts out. And I'm not saying it was finished in a day or so. That usually lasts me more than a week. Usually a couple weeks worth of desserts I'd get out of one of those. Little small cake. But a small cake that's been iced nowadays seems to cost about $16 or $17 in either of the grocery stores I shop in. That, and even if they're labeled as buttercream icing, almost every time I buy one at Meijer, it's that whipped cream frosting, which I'm not down for that. That's not my flavor. I really am not a big fan of the whipped cream icing. I don't hate it, but if you're going in for what you want, if you're going for a dessert, it's already bad for you. This is not a healthy moment. This is not a big bowl of kale. This is a piece of cake. Have the icing you like. Also, and for super reference, anyone that's going to mention that I should get the one with cream cheese icing, the answer to that is no. I'm very allergic to cream cheese. Well, intolerant to cream cheese. It does not process. Also, I find the taste really abhorrent. I cannot stand the flavor of cream cheese icing. No. It's not my thing. I do get cinnamon rolls at Meijer that have the non-cream cheese icing on them. The big freshy ones out of their bakery section. And I usually make my value on those bad boys. Because I'll eat one of those as my dessert for a day. And they come in a 4-pack. And they're only a few dollars for a pack. So that one's a value dessert item for me. And yes, Nepal, you can have all the cream cheese icing. Every drop of it. Both Flopsy and I feel about the same way about cream cheese icing. So you're not going to find any in this house normally. In fact, we both love carrot cake. But we don't ever buy it out and about because what it comes with. But I will sure as shoot and bake a carrot cake at home. Just have it as is. That stuff's sweet as get out. You don't need cream cheese frosting on that to make it sweeter. I find it more of a candy cake than a regular cake is. In fact, the last few times I made a cake at home, never got around to putting icing on it. I just baked the cake and ate the cake. A fresh baked cake can be a good thing in and of itself. A store-baked cake that was sitting in a freezer for a week and a half before they put it out to defrost to sell it to you, tastes like the freezer to some extent. Just saying on that. But that would save us a little bit on the dessert funds that I spend every week. Because I do tend to have something on hand to eat as a sweet in the evening. I don't eat something every night anymore. I bought a pack of cinnamon rolls like 2 weeks ago. I think I still have one in the freezer, in the fridge, waiting to be heated up. 60 seconds in the microwave for one of those big, softy cinnamon rolls, and it gets really good again. Doesn't matter if it's been in the fridge for 2-3 weeks. I'm more a fan of a fresh strawberry pie, though. I'm not gonna. That's actually on my list too. For a while there, was doing pies as one of my things, as my weekly dessert kind of thing. But as the fact that I was not always eating a thing every night, the pies were starting to go bad before I'd finish them, especially the fruit pies, which was really sad because I really enjoyed them. And you know what season it is at Meijer right now there in Nepal? It's strawberry rhubarb pie season. I saw one there, the stack of them there, when I was shopping on Thursday, and I almost picked one up. Strawberry rhubarb is so amazing. It is one of my absolute favorite pie products. Growing up, rhubarb is okay. Well, you're allowed to feel that way. I'm not requiring everyone to like what I like. One of the things in Grandma's garden was she grew rhubarb. So I've had fresh rhubarb cobbler and stuff since I was small. So for me, that's kind of a nostalgia item. That wonderful Deadly Nightshade is really good to me. That's definitely not everybody's going to feel the same way. I mean, I also grew up in a family that ate a lot of cooked cabbage products. So I love cabbage rolls. I love halushki. I love just a good cooked cabbage sometimes. It's weird. I actually grown to hate them as a kid. But as an adult, the taste came back and I want them again. So, weird. Cabbage is a good thing. Oh, and of course, sauerkraut. Good gravy. Sauerkraut is amazing. That stinky spoiled cabbage stuff to put on a wiener, so a win. So much a win. Never a question on that. You can have that. I'm sorry. I will eat it all for you. Can't stand it. I can understand that. Fopsy definitely does not like the smell of sauerkraut, but will happily eat a hot dog that was cooked in it. Even if there's still a little bit on it, still fine, like a couple stray krautlets. But me, I'm just just take the weenie and give me a mountain. It's been a while since I had sauerkraut, but I do like it. I feel you, Wild. You know, there's a event coming up this coming end of the month, beginning of next month, that's going to involve a large hot dog cooker, and I wonder if I could sneak in a big old can of stink kraut. You, me, and my sister, I know, would get down on that. Do love sauerkraut. One of the things that Fopsy did as an experiment cook, we picked up sauerkraut. We picked up a head of cabbage as a garnish for a dish. And since you can't get a head of cabbage that's less than a bowling ball, one of the things Fopsy decided to do was looked up other recipes, and he said, I found this recipe for cabbage and noodle that I just looked over and said, halushki? And he's like, yeah, that's the name of it. Oh, that's really good. Well, I don't want to make it and mess it up. I'm like, oh, trust me, it's halushki. You're not going to mess it up. It's cabbage and noodles and a little bit of flavor. I can't say that Fopsy made Mom's halushki, But, you don't become my mother in a day of trying to figure out how to make halushki. But it was a really good halushki. It was really fresh, tasted good, and I was happy. So, Fopsy can make halushki. My sister approves of that, by the way. She also really loves halushki. It's funny. Our family's ancestry is like, I'm 75% German and 25% Irish. In fact, all of my Irish is from mom's side. But most of the cooking items I remember that weren't just Merca food are Polish in origin. Like halushki, which is the cabbage with noodles. Halupkis, which are cabbage rolls, which is basically like a meatball with rice wrapped up in cabbage cooked in a tomato sauce. For anyone that's never had that kind of cabbage rolls, you really need to try them. That is a wonderful, tasty food. I need to do that. It's a lot more work to do that, but it's a really, really, really tasty food and is fun to do. Where did your friend go? Oh, Fopsy. Fopsy got tired. Fopsy has had a long day. She got up way before I did. We worked the same hours, and she has now fallen asleep. And it's very adorable. So yes, I lost my little one, but I know where she's at physically. From the angle of the noise, I think it's that she's on the couch and not sleeping in her computer chair. Which is a plus, because that's less of a neck strain when someone gets up. But now, having talked about it, I really think I should try and make halupkis. I'm going to look up a recipe for that and see if I can do it any kind of justice. I'm also not my mom. If you hadn't figured out, I am not my mother. I'm a completely separate humanoid creation besides her. But I think I could do that. Also, cabbage is really good for you. So, I mean, there's no question there. It's a healthy food. And it's cooked in a tomato sauce. Not a lot of bad stuff. Probably the worst thing in it is the meat inside of it. I mean, meat's important. So yeah. If you ever have the chance to and you never had Polish food growing up like I did, definitely recommend it. There's a lot of interesting tastes that you never think would be a thing, but lo and behold, yeah, turns out pretty good. I also need to do another roast beef again. I haven't done one of those in ages. I should grab like a chuck roast or something and bust that in the crock pot. Tends to be a happy thought too. Nice piece of meat that'll last at least a couple of leftovers. Throw it on sandwiches. Do the thing. Also, a roast is usually pretty inexpensive compared to, say, steaks or ground meat or whatnot now. I've mentioned before that ground meat has definitely gone up in price in our area. During the time I've lived with Fopsy, that's 14 years-ish now, 14 and a half, ground meat has gone from about $2 a pound for ground beef up to $5 or $6 for the store brand. And it can get worse if you get the fancy labeled ground beef out of the fridge at the store. So, wow, yeah, $7 or more for a single pound of ground beef. I don't understand. That price does not make any sense. Even after we moved here, chicken thighs on average were around $1 a pound, sometimes less. And now, not even close. It's way more than that. Best leftovers are pot roast, Thanksgiving. Put extra turkey on a sandwich with mayo and Lowry seasoned salt. Oh, post Thanksgiving, put turkey on the sandwich. I can't do the mayo. I can feel your Lowry seasoned salt. I feel you there. One of my traditions as a teenager onward after Thanksgiving, we had the sandwich squisher. You know, the thing turns into like effectively a homemade Hot Pocket. The mayo is on as a Dutch thing. Yeah, I can see that. Dutch really like their mayo. I'd take the sandwich toasty squisher thing, put the bread on that bad boy, put a little bit of turkey on it, throw a little bit of that homemade stuffing in there too, and then put the half piece of bread on it and toast her up. Cause that stuffing and the turkey together as a sandwich, ooh, you had a moment. Yes, we do. I'm part Dutch. Isn't that where you go to get French fries with mayonnaise on them? Nepal, your heritage is weird. I'm not saying mine's normal, but yours is also weird. My heritage says I should like a lot of beer and a lot of whiskey. Yes, fresh fries in a paper cone with fresh made mayo. Yeah, I know, we Dutch are weird. You're allowed to be weird. If we were all what someone would consider normal, we'd all be boring. I don't want that in life. I want more fun people. Like you. And like more of my friends have said time and time again, if we all liked the same things and we all only ate the same things, the world would be a really boring place. So just because I like sushi and I like halupkis and I like a burger with mushrooms on it does not mean everyone has to like their stuff the same way I do. You're all allowed to like what you like. Oh, Fizz Cute Fox is now following. Thank you, Fizz, for the follow. I really appreciate that. Nobody normal here. Not a single one. Now, I'm not going to say people shouldn't consider trying other people's concept of what's really tasty, because you never know if you're going to like it. Now, I know I don't like mayonnaise, so flat out right now, I know I don't want mayonnaise on fries or on a sandwich because, to me, mayonnaise tastes like yark. Hello, Fizz. I am good. How are you this fine evening? But if someone didn't have an aversion to something specifically, like maybe mushrooms, I don't know, we'll just say Nepal. You had no plus or minus feelings on a mushroom concept. And I gave you a fresh hamburger with mushrooms on it. You might say it's horrible, and that's understandable. Some people just don't like them. You might also say, wow, this is amazing. Why wasn't I eating mushrooms on my hamburger before? No one ever told me this was a good idea. And there you go. But sometimes you don't know until you give it a shot. Fopsy didn't know that she liked anything sushi related. She wanted to like it because we would always go hang out and have fun eating at the sushi place, and she'd be stuck eating teriyaki chicken. Tried a maki roll. Nope. Tried nigiri. That's just a fish on rice. No. And then tried just sashimi. There we were. That was it. So now, because Fopsy was willing to try sushi as a roll, as a nigiri, and then as sashimi, found that sashimi was the answer. So it's one of those things you never know until you try. And I'm glad you are doing well there, Fizz the Cutie Fox. I'm assuming you're cute and a fox. And fizzy. Mushrooms are something I'd try on a burger. I'm legit 50-50 on mushrooms. Wild also loves mushrooms. Well, honestly, I'm not here to this stream isn't just designed to tell everybody what they should and shouldn't eat, but honestly, if you're cooking burgers at home one day, quick recommendation. Take one of those little, 50-cent cans of mushrooms from the grocery store, drain the juice, put it in a pan with a nice clomp of butter, maybe a little garlic powder, and hit a Worcestershire, and then pile them on your burger. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, that's also fine. It cost you maybe 50 cents to try, and if you didn't like them, well, to be honest, they're actually easy to scoot off your burger and be back to Burgerland. Fresh mushrooms are obviously better, but if you really just wanted to try the concept, less effort, less investment, and I'm pretty sure you have a butter or butter-like substitute in your house already that you can just add a little clump to. And probably at least some form of garlic, and most people have Worcestershire in their house because it's tasty. Worcestershire is also something I put on my boigas. And my veggie burgers, which makes them non-veggie burgers, by the way. Fun fact, do not feed Worcestershire to your vegetarian friends. It is not. I mean, it's barely related to the fish product that's in there, but it's still not vegetarian anymore. It's based on a fish sauce. Similar ketchup was actually based on the same fish sauce back in the bajillion years ago when it migrated from Eastern Asia to England, the UK. They just went two completely different directions. Ketchup basically gave up the fish part of it and just went more of the vinegar sauce and then added tomato to it. Whereas Worcestershire went whole hog on the fish sauce part and just spiced it up a little bit more. And for that matter, anything you're trying to do with a not meat product, assuming you're not vegetarian and you want to make it taste meaty, give that savory umami flavor that everyone covets, a couple quick dashes of Worcestershire actually do usually work for us. When we were first trying ground turkey as a replacement for ground beef, at least partially in tacos or whatever, adding a little bit of Worcestershire actually fixed the flavor back to tasting like it was all ground beef. Funny, but actually really worked for us. Just a little splash on your not ground beef meat. In fact, put on the ground beef meat too. It actually makes it even taste better too. Good accent. Also works for your non-meat meats to make them a little better. I will say there are limits to what you can do with the ground bokeh product. It's fine. Okay, it is not bad, but whenever your sauce is actually depending on the nature of the ground meat to really help it, it is more important to have at least half ground meat, if not all ground meat. I definitely find ground bokeh in chili does not work. I even was just 50-50 on it. 50 beef, 50 bokeh. The bokeh did not add the... It's funny to think of it this way, but the greasy nature of the ground beef actually does make a little bit of the umptious flavor and texture to a chili. Similarly, if you're making a good meaty sketty sauce, ground beef does a bigger supporting role, and actually adds a lot more depth to the sketty sauce. We even found, just out of whim, I picked up a pack of stew meat, and we're just the intention was we were making spaghetti with meatballs, and I was like, we'll just put the stew meat in there and we'll do meatballs, and we'll go both ways. The stew meat put in the sauce before the sauce started to form was a game changer. The sauce, the spaghetti sauce, tasted so much better. It's amazing what a little bit of less processed meat product in the spaghetti sauce really did. It let loose its flavor and really shared with the tomatoes and the veggies and the sauciness of it, and gave back wholeheartedly to us a delicious meal. This one I'm not going to give you a straight recipe for because I can't remember exactly what we did, but I believe it was a pound of stew meat and a pot of sauce. And probably some frozen raviolis, some frozen meatballs again of some kind. Hello again now, Wizard Wolf. Welcome back. I am starting to wrap up here. It's after 10 o'clock. Good gravy, I've been babbling for over 3 hours again. I hope you've all been enjoying such babbling. You're all very well-behaved children for dealing with my talking for all this time. You went Eepies. Oh, you're allowed to go Eepies. I'm going to be going Eepies probably pretty soon myself, honestly. I know Fopsy went Eepies. I hear Eepie noises next to me. And that's okay. We all deserve sleep. Oof. Yeah, I think I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Aster. I'm going to see who I can find. I see a couple of people on. I just want to make sure they're actually still going before I pick who we're thinning y'all off to. Stream manager. No, not alerts. Stream manager. Stream manager. There we go. It's way harder to click in this thing. I know she's not going to be on for too long, but I know somebody who's having their birthday stream right now. Well, the extension of it started on Saturday, and it's been a continuous, like, subathon-y type critter. Yes, she is definitely still up. Yay! But again, thank you all for spending time with me and enjoying my babbling and whatnot. I stream every Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern till 10-ish. Also still Eastern. Mondays is chat stream like this, and Wednesdays I've been playing games in fursuit, so you can come and have fun with me while we're playing Cult of the Lamb at the moment. I'd love to have you be there too. I prioritize talking over game no matter what, so if you want to talk with me, I'm there. And I usually prioritize what people here want to talk with over what I want to talk about, so I may try and have some topics on hand, but I do my best to talk about what you want to talk about. Priority. As long as you're here to talk, I'm here to listen and here to talk back with you and discuss and have fun. Anyway, we're going to send you off to a lovely little Hobkin friend of mine. She is named Con. I've known her for a lot of years. Go ahead and send her some love for me. Let her know that Caddie sent you. And I will see you all again on Wednesday. It's always good to watch you. Glad I could catch somebody stream. Yay, I'm glad you could too, Nepal. Thank you for coming, and thank you for just being an awesome being like you are. Yes, stop recording. Thank you.